Hello and welcome to my podcast, Just Show Up with Janine. I am your host, Janine Youngworth, and thank you so much for being here with me today. If you are new to the channel, I welcome you. I follow the energy of what I'm called to speak to and literally just show up. So I have not been as consistent probably in the last year and a half as I used to be, simply because the methods and the means changed for me to actually pick up my phone and just record an episode. But I am slowly figuring it out thanks to ChatGPT and following the steps, because technology is not my strong suit. So you know what? You can't be good at everything, right? But you can also get better at things. So I'm striving to do that. So in today's episode, I wanted to share, I run a book club kind of with a close, intimate group. And we're doing a book on money. And one of the chapters today the chapter for this week was all around your purpose. And you know, it's funny because I wrote a book years ago, How to Find Your Purpose, even if you don't know where to look. And it's pretty much completed. I've just never released it. So maybe something for me to look at doing here in the near future. But I'm just curious, and I wonder how many of you out there wonder about what your purpose is. And I think sometimes we overcomplicate what our purpose is, what purpose I guess entails in our lives. And what if it's not anything that we think it is at all? What if it is simply each day doing what you love, doing what lights you up? And then what if that creates an energy that goes out into the world in a positive way? Because we're all energetic beings, we're all broadcasting and receiving information. And if you do what you love, here's something that I have kind of discovered throughout my years of, I realized a few years ago that I've always been an entrepreneur and just never really acknowledged it. I mean, it started when I was 11 when I started babysitting. And I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. That's what I did. I loved babies and kids. And it wasn't about the money, to be quite honest. I don't even know. I just loved doing it. And I did that until I was, I want to say 16. I think I got my first job. Yeah, it must have been, I got my first job the fall of grade 11, because I had my driver's license. So obviously I would need to drive myself to work, and my parents never ever had to drive me. So I babysat until I took on that job, and then I kind of let go of all my babysitting jobs. I gave out my sister's name and just said, if you need somebody, you are welcome to call her. So that is 7 years of looking after other people's children. And I am talking booked up solid. Like, I babysat nearly every weekend, sometimes all weekend. And by the time I was 16, quite honestly, I was so done with looking after other people's kids. And I guess when you're around kids that much, and you're not emotionally attached, I mean, you care. I mean, I loved kids and babies, but you're not emotionally attached. So you learn how to set boundaries with them. You learn how to care for them. You also learn how they think, how they operate, how they can manipulate. Like, it is very, very interesting. So anyway, all of that said, coming back to your purpose. At that time, my purpose was looking after people's kids. That was my business. That's what I loved to do. And, my name, just because I was good at what I did, I loved what I did, I was responsible, I showed up, my name got out there. People would share that they were happy with my services and that I babysat. So I want to say that money follows joy. Money follows what you love. And if you're genuinely good at it, then people are just going to want your services. They're going to want that. And so what if your job today, so if you're wondering what your purpose is, okay, I'm going to say there's multi-levels of what your purpose is. What's your purpose today? Like even today, so when I think about what my purpose today is, we're starting our bathroom renovation. We just completed our kitchen renovation. And so now we're going to be starting our bathroom renovation. So my purpose today is going to be cleaning out the cabinets and all of the places where there's stuff, right? Because we're going to be ripping out and demolishing some of the walls and stuff. So that's my purpose today. Nothing more, nothing less. And so what if we could just face each day and say, what is my purpose today? Maybe your purpose today is like, maybe you have to go and run errands, and your purpose today is just to be joyful and pleasant and smile at people and be kind. Like, I think that we need to change how we're looking at what your purpose is. And then also, what do you love to do and what lights you up? And, obviously we need to pay the bills. So, what problems do you solve? The bigger the problem that you solve, the more money you're going to make. And also, I want to throw in there, not everybody wants to make a ton of money. For me, I feel like the more money I have, the more people I can help. I'm on a mission to, become a multi-millionaire, possibly a billionaire. That's something that is kind of in my scope of what I'm kind of focusing on. Why? Because I want to do big things in this world, whether it's a charity, philanthropy, whatever that might be. I just want to do bigger things. And it's not just about the material. I also enjoy being able to maybe provide for my family. I also would like to look at biohacking and longevity in my life, because I feel like this world right now is just so not designed for health and wellness and well-being. It's just not. Big pharma wants you buying their product, going to their physicians, all the things. Like our medical system, you have to admit, is not designed for people to heal and be well, because if that was the case, then when you get put on a medication, it would heal whatever ails you and you would take it for a period of time and you would move on. So I just have a different perspective of how I see things. And I think some people they get complacent and they're like, oh, this is just how it is and it's good enough and whatever. And that's fine. But that is not how I see this world. And I want to leave the world a better place when I am done. And so, again, there's no right or wrong. It all comes down to choice. So if you're someone who just loves to live simply and has no desire to make money, maybe your purpose is just to, buy an acreage and live off the land and have animals and supply yourself. Like, again, there's no right or wrong way to live your life and live out your purpose. It's whatever makes sense to you, whatever you love to do. Like, it's why we're on this earth. We're here to utilize the gifts and talents and abilities and wisdom that we have within us. And, the other thing is, we're not taught that we are infinite beings that have lived infinite lifetimes, and that we have all this wisdom from all of these lifetimes that maybe we don't necessarily remember on a conscious level, but on a soul level, the soul has all of that information, all of that wisdom. And also we have access to the wisdom of our Creator in the universe. But if we don't believe we have access to that, then we're not going to even reach for it. So, everywhere you're not reaching for the wisdom of the universe and reaching out for clarity in your life and in your, what your purpose is, don't be afraid of it. I think so many people are afraid of even dreaming bigger, of looking within to say, like, what is it that I want? Because I think so many people are jaded and think, well, that's not even possible. Like, how would that ever happen? But I do believe that there are scrolls from scripture that have been removed and hidden from us because power and control was what they wanted. And they didn't want us to know that we are so capable. I mean, that's why Jesus came here, to show us that we are all made in the image of the Creator and what we are capable of. Jesus healed people. Jesus had compassion and he stayed out of judgment, all these things. He was trying to show us that that's how we're meant to live our lives. But instead, people idolize him and worship him and all these things. And that is not what he came for. So even there, we've been distracted. We've been lied to. We are confused. We are so many things. But ultimately, we've complicated life. And really, what it comes down to is choice. So for me in this day, my choice is to get the work done that I need to get done, right? And go and clean out all of the cabinets and get all my junk out so that my husband can start ripping stuff out tonight, right? And, I could also choose not to. And then he could come home and be mad and have to do it himself. So, it ultimately, we have a choice in everything that we do. We have a choice in feeling depressed. We have a choice in being happy. We have a choice in, choosing to think that we are not capable, right? Whatever you believe, you bring about. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. And it's why I love to teach the tools that I teach, because I want people to know that you are more than capable and that there are tools in this world that can change energy and can change your situation if you are willing to be in the space of possibility, or possibilities to show up, solutions to show up, for energy to change. And whatever you focus on, you bring about. And so if you are just willing to even change how you're looking at something, what if everything changes and then possibilities show up for you? And I've seen it happen time and again. And, we're in a time right now where there's so much going on. The collective consciousness seems really, really terrible. But the thing is, sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. If you don't understand darkness, then you won't appreciate light, and vice versa. And so, what is your role here? You're here listening to this podcast right now in this episode. And the reason is that you have a role and you have a purpose, and you are the light in this world that this world needs. And the thing is, no one is as unique as you, because you have all of these unique experiences from this lifetime and other lifetimes. That is kind of like a special recipe. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and maybe they have a chili recipe, and anyone can make chili, but maybe I'm just using chili as an example. Maybe that restaurant, like, the chili is just so dang good and just nobody can replicate it, nor maybe do you even have the desire to. You just know that you love that, and so you go there so you can enjoy it. And that's all of us in the energy that we're being. There is no one out there that is exactly you. And so just remember that you are unique and you are special. And, there might be things that you teach in your own way that no one else can do in the words that you have. And the words that you speak might be the words needed to unlock someone else, because they've heard it 1,000 times, but then you say it in your unique way and it suddenly clicks. Are you willing to be that in the world? And, I'm guilty too. Like, I think sometimes we just get caught up in the collective consciousness and the negative energy that is just so rampant right now. And I think, we have to listen to things that inspire us. That's why I show up here and do these podcasts, and I'm starting my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be sharing more and more and more experiences around, like, how spirit comes through and the synchronistic events that have to take place in order to get those special messages through to the loved ones or the people that need to hear those messages the most. I mean, it's just so beautiful, inspiring, and amazing. So thank you so much for being here with me today and listening. And, if you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. That helps it go out into the algorithms. And, I would say I've hung back, hoping that things would grow. But you know what? Sometimes if you don't ask, you don't get. And so I'm not hiding anymore. It's really time to come out and, share the wisdom that I have, the knowledge that I have, the daily things that I experience, to share, because maybe it's going to help someone else have an easier time in their life, just from one little subtle tweak or shift in the energetic tools that I know create so much more in our lives. And then from there, the ripple goes out, right? So it's not just one person. It could amplify and affect 50 people. So don't underestimate the power of your smile and, that ripple going out. So thank you again for being here. And if something isn't working for you in your life, just remember that you can change it. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.